So, tonight we're going to talk about being super positive and what how does that how does that affect you, right? Because naturally I'm a positive person, and I find in a world like today it's hard. And I'm not one to complain. I'm just saying that people think you're weird and people think you're faking it when you're literally just a happy person. And I find myself in a lot of situations where people start looking at me side eye, like, are you normal? But I promise you, I am. I don't know. I just have a default setting where I don't care. The worst thing can happen to me. I go to bed. The next day I wake up and I have a major reset. And a lot of times people see it as people see something wrong with it. But I don't know. I don't know how to keep holding a grudge. And when I say keep holding a grudge, it doesn't mean that I'll forgive the person. Like let's say someone did me something. It's not that I will blindly go back into a situation to cause myself emotional harm. It's just that I don't let it stick to me. So that's why I have this high energy, or what we would call a clean aura. And I don't really want to get into like the spiritual explanation because I'm not that deep into spirituality. I do consume some content, but I can just speak from my experience. And I can definitely say that being positive, it does have a lot of benefits, and you have to encourage yourself. Because look at me, I'm 45. I'm 45. So, what do you think? This is definitely a positive benefit of being positive, um, because it's like stress don't stick to you like it does to other people. Because I remember one time I was talking to this guy and he was like, "Well, how are you?" And I was like, "I'm good." He was like, "Yeah, my mom, she fell and broke her arm and she doesn't want to go to the doctor. His brother depends on him financially, so he has to send money to him. And they live in another country, so he constantly worries about them." And in my mind, I'm like, that's two situations that you literally cannot help. Because sometimes older people, they're stubborn. If she doesn't want to go to the doctor, what can you do? If he doesn't want to maintain a job, why are you supporting him? So for me, if I were in his shoes, I literally don't have any problems because as a positive person, you pick and choose what bothers you. And usually if something bothers you is something that has quality or value that actually makes sense. Because and my mom is still alive, thank goodness. But if she were in that exact situation, there's nothing I can do. Why would I worry? If she has access to medical care and she chooses not to go, so and also a part of being staying positive, I guess I just touched on that. it does have a downside because people will also consider you mean as well, because it's almost like you have to contain, set up boundaries to maintain your happiness and even what you choose to worry about, you know? I had a close friend, I'm not going to disclose names, and she was in a toxic relationship for years. And she would call me constantly, and I would be her support. And I had to cut her off because she knew I'm always happy, I'm always upbeat, I always have time to help her. So I was like her cope. So in other words, I was like, no, I'm not going to take my good energy to be a supply for you, and you're staying in the toxic relationship. So I cut her off, and some years passed, and then I heard she passed away, and she developed a disease, and she died. But I knew that disease was built up pressure, because you know how they say this ease of mind will show up in your physical body. And I always said, had I stayed friends with her, you, this lady would call me and we would be on the phone. I would have come home from work. We'd be on the phone from like 5. Sometimes while I'm driving, she'll call me 5 until 8 in the night. And I'm doing laundry, I'm cooking, I'm getting ready for the next day, giving her all of my energy. And when I pulled back and I did a hard cutoff, within years she passed away. And I know this might sound presumptuous, but a part of me, I feel like had I been there to take that pain away from her, and as a result, I would have suffered, she probably would have still been here. And that might be a huge exaggeration, but we all know people like that. They stay in toxic situations and they depend on you as a supply of love, comfort, and positivity. But as positive, happy people, we need to learn to protect our energy, you know? And even though we could regenerate on our own, like I said earlier in the video, we can have the worst stuff happen to us and regenerate our energy. That doesn't mean that we should give it out for free. There should be some compensation, or it's just not good to give your energy away like that. It's gonna have some negative impact some way down the road. But yeah, I just wanted to go live to encourage all the happy people out there. Just literally, you have to create a bubble. You have to create a bubble to to protect yourself from people that's going to call you fake, to protect yourself from negative energy seeping in, to protect yourself from being used, and so you can maintain your happiness. Because I know I can regenerate, but it took practice for me to get there. But some happy people, which I've experienced this in the past, before I learned how to regenerate my happiness, some happy people will get used and then they'll turn bitter. Some happy people will get hurt and they can never regenerate that glow, that pop of energy back in their lives because they misuse their power, um, giving it to someone who never reciprocated or got hurt by someone, and they just couldn't get back up. And that's really sad. I've seen people go from glowing to just, like they say, losing their spark. But yeah, I don't want this video to go longer than 10 minutes. But yeah, my name is Positive Black Beauty, and I will be creating content, maintaining your happy disposition and just bringing positivity to YouTube. So stay happy, stay positive, and I'll be back with my next video.